No fuimos. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi,
everybody. Latinas and Heels, Real Talk, episode 1.
Episode 1. We're so excited to have you guys here with us. We're going to share a little bit about ourselves.
Yes. But first, we want to thank everybody, right, for participating in our poll.
Yes.
Because you guys helped us choose
the name of
name
our show.
Of our show.
So, go ahead.
And let me tell you, everybody here is wearing heels.
We're all wearing
Y'all
heels.
want to show them off?
We're going
to show them off. Hold on.
Look, I am not doing that. Sorry.
Later.
My flexible days are over.
But let me tell you, what did you guys think about the title of the show and us and the heels and the symbolism of the heels?
I was really excited because first, I love heels, and second, there's just a confidence that comes about with women when they're wearing heels and how they just step out and they stand in their own, in their own power.
Exactly.
And I love that. And it doesn't mean that if you don't wear heels, you can't be confident or you're not going to stand your power. But for me personally, since I was very young, I just loved the feel, and I loved how I felt when I stepped into a pair of good heels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, how about you?
Well, for me, the heels definitely symbolizes feeling confident, standing tall, because
sexy.
I'm a shorty.
Holding your head up high.
Sexy.
Yeah.
And just what did you say to us about the heels?
Well, for me, it's different because I used to have a lot of heels before becoming a mom, and I used to use them. But when I became a mom, I gave them away because I wasn't feeling like I felt before. I was like in a different state of mind after becoming a mom, and I was like, I don't need them. I don't feel as sexy or as confident as I felt before. So I just gave them away. And that's weird that I kept this one.
Show them now. Show them. Sexy mama in the house.
So we want to know from the mothers out there, because we know we have a lot of moms who are following us. How do you feel about it? Like, at this point in your life, after you had kids, did you just do like this lady that you just didn't feel sexy anymore? You didn't feel confident in yourself and just put away the heels and just started with just sneakers all day?
I would love to hear it.
I want to know that. I want to know from you guys. Please chime in, comment below, let us know. So, go ahead.
So we wanted to share a little bit about why we even decided to come up with this show. Besides the fact that we do have a sister show, you girls might have heard of it, called Chicks in Confidence. We're all part of the same movement. Holler! Because a lot of you follow us, you know that we're part of a huge community. So we are just kind of branching off, and we're continuing to spread that movement, spread the word, all about confidence, all about self-esteem. So we wanted to just share that the reason why we decided to come together is because we're from all walks of life. We've formed this friendship and sisterhood, and we feel like we have a lot of things that we can share that a lot of you can relate to. So that's what's making us. That's what made us come together and bring this to you guys, and we just really appreciate your support and appreciate you guys tuning in. So, and Jecenia, what is it? Tell me a little bit about what were your thoughts like when we said, hey, we're gonna come up with this show?
I was so excited. One of the things, and just to chime off with the heels, it's the same thing. We all are, moms, and joined together, and really is a platform to share with all those moms out there that are stuck in somewhere, whether it's their careers or they're stuck or feeling some kind of way, because we're not all perfect moms. And
it doesn't have to be a mom.
Right. It's okay. It's okay to share our experiences and to help whoever's out there, whoever's stuck in their lives, in relationships, in careers.
We got it all. All kinds of real talk.
Past dating experiences. It's just, as she said, we are
dating.
I guess we date our husbands.
So yes. So it's, I I guess what I meant was our experiences prior to those that might be in that, might be experiencing something like that. But it's just it's really great to be able to come out here and share what we're going through, what we've been through, and just really share the community that we have. For anyone out there that needs that little push, that little help in any area of their life.
Yeah, so that's going to be, we're going to have different topics, and that's what we do want to hear from you guys, because we'd like to continue this once a week, right, ladies?
Yes,
and some of the things that Jecenia shared, we would want to touch up on some of those topics. That little cutie that you hear is this lady's little one. So
He is so
and he
right.
just made his way through the barrier.
This is real life.
He's refusing.
Real life. Real
So,
mom life.
Yeah, so if this
This
lady needs to
cutie.
step away, please
It's
excuse
because of him.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's real life. We're here. We're just sharing what
We're moms, and things
All different
happen,
stages.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're going to.
Okay, we're not having a
This
party
lady's gonna
here.
step out for just a second. So we're gonna start with you, Cruz.
Yes.
Tell us one thing that you feel that you've overcome that has brought you to the place that you are today. Your superpower. Like, can you share a little bit about that?
Well,
who you are?
it's a superpower that I really don't want to have, maybe. But I can say that for me, it has been resilience throughout the years, throughout my life. My name is Cruz Medina, and I'm really happy to be part of this talk show and to be bringing you guys our experiences and just things that we've been through, and I know that a lot of you can relate to. Coming from the background that I did from very young, I had to basically grow up. I had to mature very quickly, and just maturing to that point where I didn't have a childhood like a lot of people that I know, and that really changes you, and it gives you a different mindset throughout the years. And for me, it was that I saw myself as the years were going by, that through every struggle, through everything that I went through, whether it be in my home, since I came from domestic abusive home, leaving my home at the age of 16, and having to fend for myself, and people not even knowing what I was going through throughout that time, because I had to be strong. And I don't regret it, because there were so many lessons that I learned throughout that time. I don't regret it. But one of my superpowers, I would say, during that time and even up to now, has to be resilience.
I love that. And I feel like we were talking about this earlier, that the fact that we can all kind of relate to that particular, we call it a power word, or because I think that that's what brought us together in the first place, is just having that resilience. But your story, I think that I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that have had to go through those similar experiences of having to grow up, right, at such a young age, and having to face a lot of things that you didn't have to face and deal with.
Right. And it's one of the things that, when people tell me, well, you could have done this and you could have done that, I could have done a lot of things. But at the same time, I just felt that God was preparing me for something. And it was the strength that I had. Even though I was scared, I'm not going to say that I never felt scared, because I always felt scared. Through so many things in my life, I've always felt scared. But there was always like something inside me that said, you know what, you are going to be okay. And I've always went through that. And with me, that's my faith. Right. I always hung on to my faith. Sorry, guys.
He's turning on his car now. So cute. Oh boy.
I always hung on to
nap time.
I always, held on to my faith throughout the whole, throughout being alone. When you're 16 and you're not home and you're not with your parents, it's a very different life. It's a very different life. And I always think about how my life could have gone had I not, made a choice And remember, back then and just like now, I've always been more of a serious type, very mature in age. So had I not decided that, you know what, I cannot focus on partying or having, you know, the wrong influences around me. Who I need right now are people that are going to get me focused, to get me to where I need to get to. And that's exactly how I lived my life for many years.
Right.
You know, I was very blessed throughout that time to have people in my life come that really gave me opportunities that honestly I wasn't prepared for. But they saw something in me to open doors for me.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that. And I think, you know, that's one of the things that I do want to share, that it's a very powerful thing when someone believes in you. It's
Absolutely,
a very
yeah.
powerful thing when someone believes in you. And many of us, sometimes that's what we need. That's all we need sometimes. For that
Just
extra
like that
push.
one, even if it's just that one person.
It's just that one
Yeah.
person that's going to, you know, shed that light on you, and it's going to tell you, you know what, I believe in you. You can do this. You know, you're more than capable. Sometimes it's just that one person that's going to catapult you to where you need to be.
Right. I totally
And
agree.
and I had that throughout my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Jecenia, the same. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Oh, good.
Because we want you guys to get to know us just a little bit, and you know, so that's why we're sharing, and I appreciate that, Cruz, because I know sometimes it's hard to share, but I also feel like with our mini stories, like you said, it just takes, you know, that one person to believe, or for someone to hear, you know, your story and to connect and to relate to it, to feel that they can also get through whatever it is that they're going through, right?
Absolutely. For me, it's also, it's like adversity, just overcoming difficulties. I was also on my own at the age of 18, not by choice either. It was more of, I lived with my mom and my brother, my sisters, and I lost my mom at an early age. And my father's always been in my life. Love him, he's always been in my life, but he wasn't the foundation in my household itself. So at 18, I was in the middle of my senior year in high school. I've been on my own. So I have had to learn how to really control the controlling, which is myself. I had a lot of, it was very difficult in the beginning. It was very difficult with trying to get over the emotions and trying to control, and really out of control emotionally. And it's come to, you know, it's learning, and just like she said, that's one of the things that I strongly say, it's just believing, it's just having that one person believe in you. And I'm very grateful, and I've had family that has been very supportive. I was the youngest, and all my family has been very supportive, and it does take that one person to believe, it does take that one person to push. It's very different when you see other people going through things and you want to help them, but you feel like you can't. And that's what I was one of those that was always trying to go over and above and trying to help everyone else with making sure that they're feeling okay, because I was hiding myself. I was hiding my emotions, and not in a very good way, you can say. And that was what really had me in a shell. And little by little, I started to like kind of open up, kind of like an onion when you're just peeling it off and you're just going little by little. And that's how I've just grown. I'm married. I've been married for 19 years. And I have two kids, and it's really what made me grow.
But you know, I can relate to you.
I was
because,
about to say the same thing. We
I can relate to
that.
you, because when it comes to keeping to yourself and keeping very, like, you isolated yourself, but that's a defense. You're basically trying to, you know, protect yourself from
It's like a shield.
anything. Like, it's like a shield.
Like a shield.
You know, you're trying to protect yourself from anything else, because you've already been through so much that in order for you to be able to get to, it's just like what I said, to get to where you need to go to, sometimes you have to put that protection.
Right.
But at the same time, I learned throughout the years, and you'll get to know when we learned that, you know, that sometimes you do need other people in your corner to be able to help you to get through those hurdles as well.
Right. And I definitely like I said earlier, like I think that because our stories are similar in some ways, like that's why we connect. And the whole having to grow up at a young age, in a sense, because you lost a parent and taking care of your own family, and I think a lot of women struggle with that. And that's exactly, I mean, that's what I had gone through as well. Like I had to grow up pretty young, and I became like the caretaker for my entire family, including my parents, and my younger siblings. I'm the oldest of 3. And, you know, along the way, as I got older, I just fell into that. I fell into that role of taking care of everybody else, of wanting to please everybody. I call myself a former people pleaser.
Me too. I think we all
You know,
are.
I think we all are. Like, I just wanted everybody to be happy. I wanted everybody, you know, take care of everybody. I was always like worried about what people were saying or how they were looking at me, and I just kind of developed that as I got older. I carried it into my adulthood, you know. And if I can share from back then and what I've learned throughout this journey, these past years, as I, you know, I'm not gonna reveal my age or who's the oldest around here.
I'm the oldest. I'll say I'm proud. I'm 48,
But anyway,
going to 49. I'm gonna be
the baby. You're the one in the middle.
I'm gonna be 49 this year. I'm proud. Go ahead.
J-Lo's gonna be 49.
Look at that.
J-Lo. But I feel like so, you know, I know we originally talked about your superpower, or the person that you've become in these past years. And for me, it's also like unapologetic, and I've grown into loving myself as I am, with all of my flaws, not really caring what people say, because that was me for many years, and really understanding that putting on that oxygen mask first, taking care of myself so that I can take care of my family, so I can be a good mom and a good wife, you know. So that's kind of my superpower. This lady.
So it's my turn. Okay, so a little bit about me and my superpower. So I am the only daughter from my dad's side, and my mom, I'm the only girl. So I'm like the only one from both. And you know, I grew up very spoiled. I had everything growing up, but I didn't have my parents present. They separated when I was, I believe, like 1. So I grew up with my grandmother, who passed away, and at the age of 12 or 13, if I'm not mistaken, I emigrated here to the United States, and you know, it was the first time that I lived with my dad, and then I moved with my mom, and it was the first time living with her. And you know, I grew up very spoiled. At the age of 16, I started working because I wanted. My dad, he was very, you know, he didn't want me to.
He was against it.
Yes, because you know, he gave me everything, and you know, he wanted me to focus on school and all of that. But you know, I grew up seeing my aunts, my grandmother, my my whole family, you know, like being entrepreneurs and doing their own thing. Like, there's a few in my family that they work for somebody else. So I grew up with that mentality. So I wanted to work for my own things. Like, I didn't want my dad to pay for my phone bills. If I wanted to go buy something, like, I wanted to work and earn that.
Right.
Myself. And then
And that says a lot about you. That says a lot about your character, the type of person that you are.
Strength.
Yes.
Strength.
So I think my superpower is like, the word that defines me the most is like never giving up. I have gone through a lot of things in life, and it doesn't matter how many times like yo me caigo, like I fell, like I just.
You're gonna be hearing some Spanglish here, so
yes.
so, I love the Spanglish. So go ahead.
So yes. It doesn't matter how many times like I fell or me caigo, like I always gonna get up and keep pushing, keep fighting. Yes, keep fighting for whatever I want in life.
You know, I gotta bring in some Cardi B. So one of Cardi B's lines in one of her songs was it, fall down 9 times, get up 10.
Yes.
That's you, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know, I've been
All
my
of us,
life.
really.
Yes, my life has not been, you know, even though I grew up like very spoiled. And you know, my life has been like, there's so many things that has happened in my life that I believe it has shaped me into the woman that I am today.
Of course,
Absolutely.
because you said that even though you grew up spoiled, you didn't have the presence of your parents, and that has done, something for you now that you're a mother.
Yes, and actually I wrote about that the other day. Like, I believe that everything we go through, it has a purpose, because
Absolutely.
have I had my parents with me growing up, maybe me being a mom with Brian, I will have like a different mentality.
Different outlook on parenting.
Yes, yes. So I think everything we go through, it serves a purpose and it shapes us.
It prepares
So-
us for something else.
So since you're already talking, the second question is, like how are you different today than what you were 5 years ago?
Wow. Wow. 5 years ago, I think that's when we met, right?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay.
But yes, 6
Yeah.
years.
Woo, we've
6
known each other
years.
for a long time.
There's
Yeah.
6 years of friendship here, guys.
Yes. So 5 years ago, I mean, I was lost. Like, I was just living every weekend. I was drinking. I was partying. Everything that I earned, it was like it will go to waste. I never saw like something. Like, I was working, living. I mean, not living life. Like, it was like I was lost. I didn't have any goals in life. I didn't have anything like to strive for. So that's how, in my mentality, it was like, I don't know, it was like not compared to the person that I am today. Yeah.
So who else wants to answer that question?
I'll go. Okay, so me, so I'm gonna say 5-6 years ago, because it's actually very connected. I was still 5 years ago, I was 2 years into my separation with my husband, and at that point I was trying to find myself. I was at 219 pounds. Since then I've lost 65 pounds. I was just like this lady, lost, not really having a direction yet of what I wanted to do with my life. And it was just, I was very angry. I was very angry at myself. I was very angry at myself. I was very angry at everything that had transpired in my relationship. But throughout that time, I learned something. So how I'm different now is because one of the things that I learned is forgiveness. Okay, forgiveness, and not only for the other person, and I'm sure everybody's heard this, but forgiveness for yourself.
For yourself.
Because once I started to learn to forgive myself, I saw the difference. I actually became a better person. I wasn't angry all the time. And another thing is that I gave myself, I started being more patient with myself. So in that aspect, what I'm trying to say that back then, I wasn't giving the time that I needed for me.
Right. Yeah.
I neglected myself a lot. And not only in my weight, just in everything. Like, I didn't make no time whatsoever for myself. So just like you said, that you're like the caretaker of your family. So I'm the oldest of 3. I'm the one that everyone runs to when there is a problem, when they need something, whatever. I'm the one. Okay, so between my family and my children, I'm the one.
And you still are,
and I still am.
And I think that that's a really wonderful
Oh, yeah,
quality
it's a-
about you. That
Thank you.
you're that type of friend that, for me personally, I feel like you're just always going to be there unconditional. So that piece of you that you feel like maybe at times has been, how do you say that, hindrance in a sense. At the same time, that's your strength and that's your superpower and that's your quality, that you care for people.
I care
Like
for
that.
people,
You
but
go-
sometimes I think I care too
Too
much.
much. Is
Too
there
much,
such a thing
maybe-
as too much caring?
Maybe too much for the wrong people, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
putting it
could
on
be
the
it.
wrong people.
That could
But
be it.
I was neglecting myself so much, and the person that I am now, I take time for myself, and I see the importance that, us women, we give so much to so many people around us, that we decide sometimes to put ourselves in the back burner, and we're always like, I'll go do my nails, in a week, or I'll go work out in a week, or I'll go read that book.
Oh, I don't have time for that.
Or I don't have
I
time
have
for
to take care of
this.
this. And
But I think it's very important that we give ourselves, even if it's 30 minutes, because you cannot, if you're not the best version of yourself, there is no way that you can give to other people, you know, anything good. Like nothing good can come out of that, because what happens is that you end up growing bitter or resentful that you're doing something good for someone. And I think that that's like so wrong at times. You know, I hated feeling like that. And now if I'm gonna do something for someone, I'm doing it because like I really want to, you know, and I feel great doing it. But I'm also taking care of me at the same time.
exactly. So it's different now.
Yeah, it's
exactly. I guess. Do you want to go next? You ready to go?
Well, the reason why Cruz and I think when we connected a lot, and is because we have a lot of similar.
Yes, we do.
A lot of similar things have happened in our lives, and that shell and that cocoon that I described before. I've been married for 19, 20 years. Oh my gosh, I don't really remember. But 19, 20 years. And that cocoon and that shell is what turned into a bad thing at one point, because I was not letting my husband in. Although I let him in enough where, yeah, we have a good relationship. We had a good relationship. We were married. We had our kids. I still didn't have that openness or that confidence to truly let him in, the one person that should be allowed into my heart and truly into my life. So about 5 years ago, I would say we did go through a separation as well for a little bit. And that was a hard time for me because I did feel lost. I did feel that I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to fix myself. I was so broken. I felt so broken. Not just because of carrying the grief. I still have the grief. It's coping better with the loss of my mom through all these years, but there's other things that have happened to me. Other traumatic things have happened to me throughout the years that have just made me even build more shells and more shields, you know, of armor, like literally, like of armor, like an army person, soldier around me, and I didn't have it, and that's what caused our separation. That's what caused a lot of friction. Even
So has that
with
been
my
like
kids.
5 years? Because
That was about 5 years ago.
Like
Yes, about 5 years ago.
Today, who's the Jecenia
That was
today?
that. That was who I was. I was broken and everything 5 years ago. Now, from turning to that, it was like a whole 360. Being in just a lot of self-growth, a lot of self-development, and just really engulfing myself in growing and emotion and finding myself. And in that process, I was able to mend things and kind of fix things with my husband, and you know, we're together and we're just really pushing forward and really have a much stronger relationship now, because even though I still have trouble with it, I'm not the same person I was. I'm not the same person I was a year ago.
I know.
I mean, I don't
agree
think
with
any
that.
of us, even 6 months
think
ago,
so.
like we're just constantly evolving, as we all should, is evolving, and it's evolving to better, to
Right.
understanding yourself, because you can't, whatever happens to you, it happens, you feel, like I felt horrible because I felt my kids felt that.
Yeah.
Like I was definitely different with my kids.
Mhm.
Now we're just so much closer, the four of us are like,
The relationship.
yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
very strong.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, like, in terms of evolving. We're definitely not the same person we were 6 months ago, I think, or a year ago, and that can't ever stop. Like, and I'm okay with that, because I was that person that was very negative. I know 5 years ago, I want to say that we were having some issues with our living situation, my family and I, where we wanted to buy a house. We didn't think we could. My husband lost his job. I mean, there was a lot of things going on. So many ups and downs, like I know a lot of us experience. And sometimes, that puts you in a bad place. And so I was that person that I at times I was not feeling hopeful. I was feeling like I wasn't sure about the future. I wasn't excited as I am today. Like I feel like, I've gone through this process of, like, for real, you have to be blessed and thankful and appreciative for all you've gone through and what you have today. Mm-hmm. Like I experienced this recently with the death of my father. Like we talk about it, we say we're blessed to have, you know, this and that in life, and our houses and whatever it is that we're striving for. But are we really taking the time to be thankful? And I think that's been my change, and the, you know, the process that I've gone through is to, like, I really feel like I'm a lot more patient with myself.
Yes.
And a lot more easy on myself, because I am always like really hard on myself, and, you know, like really counting my blessings compared to how I was before, just always kind of, like I said, just really hard on myself, right? And I feel like today, I'm also that person that I understand that we are more alike than not. You know, like I was kind of that person to compare myself a lot, and, you know, sometimes even judge. I think that, you know, we don't say it, but a lot of us women especially, we judge other people, we judge other women. So I think that I am so different now, where I feel like we are more alike than not, you know. So it's just a lot of changes I've gone through.
Yes. I also forgot to share, like, I used to be very shy.
Yes.
Like,
You
or,
were. Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
that.
We remember this lady trying to hide under the blanket, didn't want to share her story. Remember that retreat we went to?
Oh my God, yeah.
She was trying to fall asleep and stuff, didn't want to share and talk about her story, and
Anytime she doesn't want to do something, she falls asleep. She'll start like, I'm sleeping.
But she's not shy anymore.
No, I am not. Well, I used to be very shy. I used to compare myself a lot to other women, and something that used to do a lot of harm to me was like, if someone says, this lady, you're ugly, like, I would believe that.
Yeah.
Like, I would take it like very personal. And, you know, it's so amazing to see, like, through personal development what we have
growth
been, the growth that we have been able to get, and how Jecenia was saying, like, we keep evolving. And that's how life it should be, like, always evolving, always growing.
I think that we're not growing, you know, as the years go by, and we don't see that. I think that that's where a lot of the unhappiness comes from as well. But that's something that's in us that we can take control of.
Right.
You know, that's something we personally have control over. Like, if you feel that you're stuck somewhere, you have control over that.
But we don't always feel that way. Like,
Yeah.
I used to not feel in control, and now I feel, you're right about that.
But we do
Yeah,
we do have the control, and it's good for people to hear that you have control over, you know, if you feel that you're stuck somewhere right now, you have control over what you want to do about that situation.
Exactly,
Control the controlling.
So, okay, so in 30 seconds or less, ladies, everybody here, I'm going to ask you this question. What is the most valuable lesson that you've learned? Let's just say in the past year. And let's because I know we're running over 30 minutes, and we definitely want to leave it open for you guys to ask questions
We do
in
have
the
a
comment
question.
section.
Guys, ask questions. We're here for that.
And
Go
please
ahead.
share this. So in 30 seconds or less, the most valuable lesson that you've learned in the past year. While I eat this chocolate.
Surround yourself.
It's Valentine's Day. It's dark chocolate. It's healthy chocolate. Dark.
No.
Go, Jecenia, go.
That in order to succeed and to keep growing, you have to surround yourself with the people that you want to grow with, not the people that are holding you back.
Yes.
I like that. Very good. Jecenia, go.
Well, for me, is to always be me. Never compare myself to anyone. Like, okay, you're gonna translate this.
Okay, go ahead.
Most of our audience speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. La mayoría de la gente ahí,
No,
okay.
pero lo que yo quiero decir es que cada persona tiene un mensaje y una conexión que no es comparable. So,
Everyone has a message and a connection that is not comparable.
Okay, sorry about that. Mommy was calling. Mommy, llegamos tarde, mommy.
So it's your story that makes you different. Your message, you know, that's what's going to connect you with other people.
yes, every woman has their unique story. That, you know, that's like your power. Your story is like your power, and your message to the world.
I really love that.
Yes.
Okay, Cruz,
So
go.
mine is the same as what I said before, is still forgiveness. It's something that I still struggle with at times. No one is perfect in it, but one thing that I'm always reminding myself is when I feel that I cannot forgive someone, I have to really look at myself and see what is it in me that, is the reason that I cannot forgive this person. What is it that I need to change? So forgiveness is the number one for me.
And for me is kind of piggyback off of this lady, but it's to not care. Like, I don't care what people say and talk and think about me, because they're going to talk anyway. They're going to have something to say about me anyway. So I've learned just to be myself more than ever. And it's still a journey. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it.
We're not.
None of us are perfect. To love myself where I'm at with all my imperfections, all my flaws, because I am perfect in that way, and that's how God made me. And that's my message. Like, that's my message to a lot of the people that I talk to, is to truly just love who you are. And you are so much more stronger than you think, and you have so much more to offer to others than you think. So
and love yourself throughout anything that you're going through right now. If you feel that you're not in a good place right now, like, love yourself through that, and that's very important.
I like that. Love yourself
through
that.
it. Yeah, it's very important to do that. So what are you going to have us do now with the questions?
That's it. I don't know. I mean, we're running a little late, so I'm going to say one question, and then we can answer some more a little later in the thread.
Yes,
okay. Go for it.
So Badillo said, as a former people pleaser, do you find yourself going back to bad habits as far as pleasing people?
Okay, I guess I'll take that. Yeah, I think that I've come a long way. I don't know that I go back to that. I think what's helped me is that I help people understand that there are limits, and that
there's boundaries.
That there's boundaries. That's a better way of saying it. And it's not that, like, I say, hey, there's a boundary here. But I think that in my actions, I establish that there are, certain things that I need to take care of here on this end first, before I can move on to other things. And sometimes that's even been with family. I've had to do that with family, where I'm like, hey, I'm there for you, but I got to take care of me. And take care of, and I don't feel like that's being selfish at all.
No,
I've really come to terms with the fact that that's not being selfish. Like, you have to, and I know that we promote it a lot, putting yourself first, but you have to.
Sometimes you have to be selfish,
You have to be selfish.
There is nothing wrong with that. And especially, my mother, and I'm going to say it in Spanish, but my mother always said this to me, and it didn't click in until a couple of years ago, because I'm like a former people pleaser, like, extremely. So, but that's not me now, because my mother always said, si vas a hacer algo, lo tienes que hacer de buen corazón, con buenas intenciones. Okay, so if you're gonna do something, it has to come from the heart and with good intentions. So if you're a people pleaser, I found, for me, when I was, trying to give everything to everybody and be everything for everybody, I wasn't happy when I was helping someone.
That makes sense, though. It's going to make you feel, you settle these expectations, you have these expectations that you're not going to be able to, it's like you're setting yourself up in a sense.
And I didn't feel that was right. Like, I thought that if I'm going to do something for someone, I should feel good that I'm doing this for someone,
Sally has a question.
So,
Sally has all right, really quick, Sally. My girl Sally has a question for us. Okay. Go for it.
I have a question. Okay, that was sorry. What steps do you take to find your power word? Do you have more direction since you found it?
Who wants to answer that? Your power word.
No, she's asking, like,
what steps did you take?
How do we find our power word, and do you have more direction since you found it?
Well, for me, Saudi, I found it because I just saw everything that I went through in my life. And for me, not giving up, going through all the struggles that I did, that led me to knowing that I am a very resilient person. Because not that I didn't cry, not that I didn't have my bad days, but you know what? I never stopped. I never stop. Regardless of what happens in my life, I never stop moving forward. And that for me is resilience. And then the other part of the question
Well,
was?
and also that very power word, like it's usually a recurring theme.
Yeah.
And it ends up being, sometimes it even ends up being your strength. Like your weakness, sometimes we see ourselves as having these challenges and these weaknesses, like we mentioned about being a people pleaser, but that in a sense is also our strength, but we have to develop that.
Yeah.
And, I think in terms of her question, that's been a process for us, all of us really over time to kind of figure that out, our power word. And when I think of power word, I think about the word that comes to mind that, will kind of bring me back to my mission.
Exactly.
Or bring me back to who I am.
And that's what I was going to say, that I always remember that word every single time that I feel that I'm going to lose it for whatever reason, because we all have those days that you just feel like I can't, and I always go back to that word, Cruz, you're a very resilient person. You can, and you have gone through worse, so you can do this.
Right.
So that brings me back to that word.
And for me, I like unapologetic because to me, it symbolizes being myself. Like not worrying about what others think of me, not comparing myself, because that was me for a very long time. Unapologetically, living my life and putting myself out there. So that particular word, it took me some time to kind of get to that point, but that when I go back to that word, I feel like, it kind of re-energizes me and it refocuses me
and the more you work on yourself, the more you realize what you're doing. Like the more you keep working, the more you keep pushing, the more you'll see who you are and what relates to you.
Yeah. All right, ladies. So is anybody else want to wrap it up?
Yes, I want to leave you guys with this.
Okay.
Okay, because I wrote something before all of this.
Go
I
ahead.
actually went into the living room, quiet myself down. So.
She's a poet. A poet like
No, this is not a poet.
You are a poet.
It's just something that I felt, and it's good because it goes with everything that we just spoke
Okay.
about. Okay, so... And this is for everyone out there, and I want you to really listen to this and take this to heart today. I said no to people who judged me, people who ignored me, people who failed me and teared me down. And I said yes to me, to all of my mistakes, to all my flaws, the lessons, the good and the bad. And today I invite you to do the same.
I love that.
Wow, that gives me chills.
Yes.
I love it. So I think we're done with today's episode.
We're gonna ask for anyone to
Guys,
comment and let us know your topics,
come
what
back.
topics you wanna us to cover.
Yes.
Tell us any topics that you will want to hear for our future episodes. We're really happy that you joined us
feedback,
today.
please.
And feedback.
And use the hashtag Latinas in Heels.
Real
Real
talk.
talk. Use the hashtag. Share this video if there's anybody that needs to
Share
hear this.
the
If you can,